What's up guys, welcome to a video. I'm Laurent, and if you've just picked up a CF Moto 450MT or you're thinking about it, you're probably already planning some mods. But the real question is, which ones are actually worth it? In this video, I'll be breaking down 10 essential mods and a bonus one just for you guys, which actually improve comfort, performance, and overall practicality for this bike. So let's jump straight into it. First of all, let's talk about the rally seat. I think the rally seat is a crucial upgrade, especially if you're riding a lot and you're doing long journeys and long distances. The seat is 15mm of foam, which to the stock, that's a huge difference because the comfort of it is just insane. I must mention that it does make the bike a little bit taller because obviously it's a little bit higher. However, for the 15mm, it's genuinely worth it. For the future, I am planning about re-upholstering the seat just so we can get rid of this green stripe over here that you can see. It just doesn't fit in with the design of the bike now. Obviously with the stock stickers, absolutely fine, it just goes perfect. As you can see, the material's great. It's almost like a grippy material, which just helps you stick to the bike a little bit more, especially when you're riding off-road. But yeah, overall, it's definitely an upgrade that I think you need on this bike. My second point are the tank grips. It helps improve stability of the bike and of course yourself when you're able to grip onto the bike when you're riding off-road. I have had them on the bike before, but we've had the bike re-stickered, so unfortunately we had to take them off, but I have got a new set on the way. Getting here today, it just proved my point that it is an essential mod, because even though the sticker kit is grippier than just like your normal gloss paint which is on this bike stock, the grips just improve the complete stability of myself and the way I feel on the bike. Price wise, it cost me £20 from AliExpress. I can leave a link in the description below for you guys. I highly recommend this one. I believe it just says MT in the middle and it's got a very small logo. I think it's Chidi fans or something. I'm not entirely sure what it says on there. However, I believe that is a crucial upgrade that you must put on this bike. It wouldn't have to be that specific one, but of course any other grip improves the stability compared to your standard gloss paint. My third point is the sticker kit. You might be surprised with this one. However, like I mentioned, if you didn't want to opt for the grips that I mentioned before, a sticker kit completely changes the grippiness of the bike here, because even though it's a gloss sticker, you can of course get matte ones or any of your choice, but because it's a gloss sticker, it's still different to your gloss paint. My next point about the sticker kit is for the protection of the bike. Of course in the disc it's the gloss paint, and when I first got the bike I went out on some trails and this whole side got scratched by overgrown bushes on the trail. So this is one of the best upgrades that you can get that covers your whole bike and keeps it protected. Looks wise, of course, it makes the bike look so much more aggressive, considering we have a nice windscreen sticker as well. If someone's looking, you know, in their rear view mirror and they just see you, it's just really nice, especially this specific one, in my opinion. For the sticker kit, you can click the link in the description if you would like to order yourself one. So, number 4, I like to mention the crash bars. Personally, it's a really good upgrade if you'd like to protect the bike and now protect the stickers too. But no, jokes aside, I fell probably 3 times, as you can see right now, but the crash bars have saved the plastics multiple times. It's kind of controversial because the plastics are relatively cheap, so if you did break the plastic, you can just order a new one. But the crash bars don't just protect the plastics, but if you were to have a pretty bad fall, it would protect the whole bike and maybe even the subframe. So yeah, if you were to fall off at a high speed, the bike is going to slide on the crash bars, most likely anyway, on your handguards and like this, probably on the exhaust, so goodbye exhaust. Another little point with the crash bars is I believe you can get little bags over here that you can mount, so especially when you need more storage on your adventures, you're able to mount 2 bags on each side, which, not sure, maybe like an 8 litre, which you could fit your, I was going to say your spare inner tube, but you don't need that because this bike is tubeless. But yeah, definitely you can add some bags onto there, which is useful for adventures. But yeah, again, the crash bars 100% are a must in my opinion. So for number 5, I'd like to talk about the handguards. This is the Barbuster handguards, and compared to your stock ones, the stock ones are just flimsy. When I test drove the bike, the handguards, I could tell were one of the things that I'm going to change. And again, for the protection of the bike, if I was to fall, these bark busters would just take it all. I had similar ones on my old bike on the Honda, and that's been dropped multiple times over the years, and they protected the bike so well. So for the design, I've got the Barkbuster Storm. I know that these ones do come with a different design, but I can't remember the name of that one. But obviously the bike was stock stickered before, so I had some nice like neon green ones. The design of that one I do prefer, but of course now it just doesn't go with the bike at all. So if I can get a red one in the future, I'll definitely opt for that, and it will look a lot meaner. However, the Storm definitely protects you from the wind a lot more, and again, it just suits the bike the way it is with the black, red and the white and grey, I guess. But yeah, that is a crucial upgrade that you should be thinking about if you are looking to change your handguards. So for number 6, my next point is the radiator guards. Personally, the stock ones again are just completely useless. They're flimsy. It's just not the right thing for this bike. Of course, it's cheap, but if you opt to upgrade your radiator guards, especially if you're riding off-road, I'd highly recommend getting something that's a good strong material, because you have a lot of rocks flicking up, and I've heard noises. When I stop and take a look at it just to make sure and double check everything's okay, it's absolutely fine, nothing goes through it. The radiator guards that I have installed, also including the bash plate in this sort of upgrade, I feel like the bash plate and the radiator guards is a metal one. So again, it definitely just protects your bike from a lot of things. I was in the Peak District with my friend the other day and I saw him do a little jump almost, and I thought, you know, I'd be able to do the same, but it bottomed out and there's a nice little dent in there. Compared to your stock one with the bash plate, I'm not sure how that would have taken it. So for your peace of mind, especially with the rocks bouncing up and hitting the bike from underneath, I highly recommend you upgrading your bash plate and your radiator guard. So moving on to the practicality mods. First, I'd like to discuss the side stand enlarger. This is a great help. Once again, I'm referring to the off-roads, but if you like to ride off-road, which again, maybe even if you're adventuring and you see a trail, you'd like to go down it, but it's a muddy day, I highly recommend that you install this side stand enlarger, because if it's a rainy day and you go to put your bike down, if you don't have it, your bike's going to sink through and it could end up falling over. With this, the overall footprint of the bike when you put it down, it's a lot larger and it just doesn't allow the bike to sink in as much as it would with your original side stand. It's a small upgrade, it's not expensive at all, but it makes a huge difference. Again, for the side stand enlarger, I'll be leaving a link in the description below, so make sure to go check that out, as I highly recommend you do get one. So for number 8, I'd like to talk about the center stand. Some people may disagree with me. That's absolutely fine. You can make your own decision. But personally, I think the center stand is a great upgrade for the bike. At first, I was definitely unsure because it adds extra weight to the bike. I believe it's 2.5 kilos that it does add to the bike. But for practicality and the purpose of it, for maintenance, you clean the chain. Personally, I clean the chain once a week and I try to maintain the bike as much as I can. So being able to pop it onto the center stand, it's so useful and it's just so practical instead of having to use bobbins and lifting the bike up. That can, of course, be an alternative, but because the center stand is on the bike and you can put it on the center stand anywhere you go, I just think it's really practical. I've had my worries about the clearance, of course, but so far I've been on plenty off-roads and I've not had an issue whatsoever. Another benefit for the center stand, it's also great for some places where you're unable to put your bike on the side stand. I've had one in the Cotswolds when I went with my partner. We weren't able to put it onto the side stand because the bike would have been leaning too much. So moving it up just slightly, put it onto the center stand, especially that we had the top box on as well. It was great, it did the job and the bike was secure. So moving on to tech and performance mods, number 9, I have the Aochi correct me if I'm wrong, but I have the Aochi Sat Nav CarPlay. It's a great addition to the bike, especially if you are using your phone usually on your rides. I know a lot of people do just get a quad lock and have their phone on the bike, but if you were to come off, you don't want your phone going with you as well. Keep your phone stored away and use a CarPlay instead. It's relatively cheap and the perks that come with it are really beneficial. It's waterproof, it's glove friendly, and of course, no one is able to take it off. So the worries of someone being able to just come over and pop it off, you don't have that. It's mounted to the bike and you're not able to remove it without any tools. So referencing back to your phone, you don't have to worry or keep it in a waterproof case if your phone isn't waterproof. I know nowadays most phones are and they can handle a bit of rain, but for the ones who are adventuring and they do use their phone for sat nav and they listen to it or have it up mounted onto their bike, you don't need to worry about that because now you can use the Sat Nav CarPlay and it's completely waterproof. Another perk to mention is the screen. The screen brightness and the quality is insane. I believe the one I have is the Aochi 5 and I believe it costs about £85. You wire it in, it's super easy and it's literally just you connect your phone to it and it's ready to go. I know with certain ones you do have the option to get waterproof cameras, which again for safety, and of course we know that there are a lot of idiots on the road, especially nowadays. You can install front cameras and a rear one, which the rear does activate on sharp braking, so if you were to get hit from behind, etc., that will capture all of that. If you don't want to use the front cameras, I believe you can tilt them and just point them to the sides. Basically, you can angle them whichever way you want to. The cameras are waterproof, they're dustproof, so pretty much overall weatherproof, so anywhere you go, it's able to film. I believe it's got a small micro SD and basically it keeps looping the files on there, so I think that's the right word, but basically what I'm trying to say is if the card was to get full, it will always delete the oldest file first and then replace it with the new one, and it will just keep doing that. Of course, then if you want to save certain things, you can take that out and upload it to your computer and even make videos of it. You could potentially do a video from your bike camera if you wanted to. But yeah, I believe the Apple CarPlay is a great addition to this bike. So for number 10 and my last point is the 15 teeth sprocket. I wish I didn't forget it and I brought it with me so I could literally put it here, but maybe I can work some magic and go. But yeah, 15 teeth sprocket. I haven't actually installed it to the bike yet. However, I've heard that the difference it makes on the bike is out of this world. It feels like a complete different bike. Some of the things with the sprocket, it extends your gears, it improves the fuel efficiency. With the gearing, I believe the bike is really low RPM heavy, and that's where I think the snatchy throttle also comes from. So I know some people have resolved it or at least made it better by changing to a 15 teeth sprocket. It is a bit of a trade-off. You do get slower acceleration. However, when you do get to your higher speeds, your revs are a lot lower. I've seen some reviews personally and some people's RPMs have dropped by 600-700, which if you are traveling a lot and you're doing long distance, that does add up overall, especially if you're thinking about the fuel. So as I mentioned, I don't have it installed currently on the bike, so I can't personally give you my opinion, but make sure to stay tuned for that video because I will be making a separate review video once it has been installed, and of course how I find it once I've rode it for a long enough time to be able to make up the difference how it is now and with the new sprocket installed. So for my next and final bonus point is the exhaust. The exhaust improves the weight efficiency by a big difference. And of course, when it comes to weight saving, we know everyone wants to save as much weight as possible on their bike. So for weight saving, the stock exhaust is heavy and bulky. The Yoshimura RS12 or any other aftermarket exhaust, everyone knows that it is a lot lighter, so it's a great way to save some weight. Plus, you make the bike sound a lot better. Don't get me wrong, the stock exhaust does sound great. For some performance results, of course, if you tune it with the ECU specifically, you may see some performance bonus too. I believe on the 250 Rally, I was told it adds an extra 2 horsepower, but when the bike is already, I think it's 23 horsepower, 2 horsepower is something. So I definitely recommend you changing the exhaust. This is probably the most expensive mod that I've mentioned so far on the bike, especially this Yoshimura one. But like I said, you can pick up an aftermarket one off AliExpress. I'm not sure, I've not actually looked, but it can't be more than 150 to 200 pound. So if you would like to save some weight with the exhaust, then make sure to order yourself an aftermarket exhaust and get that changed as soon as you can. So guys, that is my breakdown of the 10 essential mods that I believe you should be doing to your bike. There are a few other mods, of course. You can do so many different things, and I'm sure you guys have seen other things on the bike that I have modded, but for the most essential ones, I've listed them in this video. Personally, some of the things that I've mentioned does add practicality and of course improves the comfort, and overall it just makes the bike a lot easier to live with and handle. If you're wondering where to start, I'll link my sticker video right here for you to go and check out. And remember, like I said, it doesn't just change the look, it does improve the grip too. If you have enjoyed this video, then make sure to hit the like rating because it definitely helps the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And other than that, comment down below which will be your first mod that you'll be making to your bike. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.